Okay, you guys, I just wanted to get on here. You guys are reading the title correctly. You know, less if less of you men were here, uh things would be a whole lot better. Things would be a whole lot better on the planet if less of you men were here. I legitimately want you black women and women who come to my channel, I want you to tell me, how does dealing with men benefit you? How? Because there's not enough so-called good men or men who understand what's going on speaking out against what these bad men are doing. And I understand that you men want a piece of the pie when it comes to oppressing women by keeping your foots on the necks of women. But at the end of the day, when enough of you men are not held accountable by how you treat women, it makes the collection of you men look bad. I don't know one woman who is being benefited within her marriage who is truly happy married to you men. I don't know one woman. Everything these women say that men do for them where they're being taken care of, you can do that yourself. You can do that yourself, ladies. If your man takes you out on vacations, single women can go out on vacations. The only thing that this man is doing for you is actually spending his money on you and compensating you for your time and effort and labor into this marriage with this man. Just like with my friend girls, all of them are married and they brag about how their husbands do this and how their husbands do that. At the end of the day, they can do these things by themselves. But as long as these women are pouring their labor into these men, of course these men are going to do these things for them. It's kind of like paying a slave worker to cook and clean, to give sex, tend to the children, etc. That's it. That's literally it. In other words, ladies, these men want their own little personal slave. You're their little slave. That's it. He just owns you. You're his nanny for your kids. You're his cook. You're the housekeeper. You're the receptionist. You're the SW worker. I mean, that's literally it. Your husband is your slave master. You're just the slave. That's it. So everything that you married women are bragging about with your husbands, I can get somebody to come in and do those same jobs for me. hmm I can hire somebody to come and clean and do housekeeping in my house and et cetera, et cetera. hmm I'm just trying to figure out, how are these men benefiting women? These men are not taking care of the planet. They're not, tending to the gardening or anything like that. We have farmers, but for the most part, most women are nurturing the planet. I'm just trying to get you women to open up your mind when it comes to these men out here that you keep pedestalizing. I remind men that they're always going to be inferior over women, despite they think that they are superior over women, despite they think that they have given women their rights, the same rights that we had to fight for. So you men haven't given women anything. And then what really, really sets these men apart is when they get online and they're saying, yeah, because we built the bridges and we built the buildings and we built the houses, and who's going to build this and who's going to build that? Most of you men can't even build a goddamn house with toothpicks. So, and most of these jobs that require construction, immigrants are coming in. Well, they were the ones coming in doing all that labor and work. So, technically, men. I mean, it's giving narcissistic personality and entitlement. You know, you guys just think you have given women the world, and it's like we had to fight for these things. And ladies, let's be perfectly clear, as this train is coming through, women have had to fight. We just literally fought for our rights 50 to 60 years ago. But men have convinced themselves that they have done all of these things for women. Hold on a second, you guys. Okay, you guys, I'm back. I don't know who told these men that they're entitled to anything. And this is why Cynthia G told us we have to stop birthing so many men because there's not enough women to go around for these men. You guys do understand that. There's simply not enough women for these men. Even though there's more women than there are men, there's not enough suitors for these men when it comes to selection. Okay? Not every man is meant to be procreated with. Not every man is meant to have a family, okay, or a wife. I need you guys to understand when there's too many men on the planet equilibrium is out of balance. And right now, it's out of balance because there's too much masculine energy on the planet. And this is why all of this stuff is happening because when the divine feminine, like right now, the divine feminine is overwhelmed. She's overwhelmed right now. It's because there's too much masculine energy here on the planet. And when you have women revolting like this and repulsing back, this has a lot to do with that. When I look at the black community, there's too many useless XY. I've done a live on this. There's too many useless XYs on the planet. There's too many black boys here. They're not being taught, they're not being guided, they're not being led by their fathers. These older black men are not teaching their sons how to be men. And you want to know what happens to these boys? They end up getting out here, committing the crimes, committing the violence. They're a part of the femicide, and so on and so on. I just want you guys to understand why you guys have to get control who are womb envy, right? They just want to impregnate you, to trap you so that you can suffer. Okay, just like a lot of men trap you guys into marriages and then they trap you with STDs, they trap you with soul ties. You guys have to understand how deep this goes. There's too many men here on the planet. There's too many boy moms telling your 30 and 40-year-old son it's okay to be coddled. I met a woman whose 40-year-old nephew is still living with his parents. Unless your parents are sick and you're the only child and you're a caretaker, I don't know why a grown-ass man would be still living with his parents. There's too much codependency going on with the XYs. You guys are looking for real men when these men are still looking for their mama's tit. Natural selection has to come into play, you guys. This shit goes really deep with genetics. It goes really deep with skills. I mean, it gets really deep. It gets really deep, okay? When there's too many men on the planet can't breathe. It can't function. The people are not evolving. Instead of these incels trying to get the government to help them to get a wife and get laid, they need to be asking the government how to teach them how to be equipped for the real world, like gain skills and social skills and, how to get a job, how to do a resume, how to get out of their mom's basement, how to get out of their mom's attic. But no, they're out here looking to be husbands, but don't have what it takes to be a leader. They're out here talking about their providers, but they're broke. They're out here talking about, getting laid when they're sitting here indulging in corn and their brain rot. We cannot procreate with these types of XYs. And this is what these incels are asking the government to do. And all of this plays a hand with Project 2025. Once again, when the divine feminine is overwhelmed, like right now, where there is scarcity, nothing positive is going to come out of this. You're not going to get a healthy society. You're not going to get a healthy civilization where everybody works together under this system. And the problem is, this system is too toxic. There is not enough so-called good men who are holding the bad men accountable. It's like the bad men are speaking on behalf of all men. So when the conversation came up about the man or the bear, well, you men need to actually start holding men accountable for the things that they're doing. Because right now, this is why we say all men. Because you have so-called good men, bad men who are pretending to be good men, sitting online speaking on behalf of all of y'all, giving all of y'all a bad look. I personally think that a good portion of you men have to go. Like, you have to go. We only need 15 to 20% of you men here. The rest of you have to go. Like, you have to, like, go. You have to go. I mean, and I'm not saying that there's not men out here who are doing the work and putting in the extra energy to improve themselves, but there are men out here who are not doing that. They're not productive within society. They're just here causing havoc and trying to ruin women, as many women. And I'm talking about you XYs who are out here creating, you're creating bastard children everywhere. I'm talking about you men who have been in failed marriages, you incels, you red pill, like all of these toxic communities, they have to come to an end. Either you're going to adapt and grow, or you can literally die and starve. I don't care. These types of incels are parasitic. They're parasitic, and their job is to latch on to a host and suck you until you're dry. Now we're talking about some heavy core conversation of eugenics, which natural selection is going to do its job. Everything low vibrational at the food chain, it's going to go away. It's going to go away because as the planet is growing and evolving, you're supposed to be consciously evolving. And if you're not consciously evolving, you're going to be stuck in a system or in a world that is not going to be beneficial for your spiritual growth. We're literally in 5D, and you have some people who are stuck in 3D and 4D. Men are not interdimensional. Nope. Men are not operating on the same existence of plane like women are. Why is that? Because women are spiritual and cosmic. That's why. So these men are stuck, and by them being stuck, they need you, who's at a higher position, to help them to move forward in existence. It's kind of like leading these men into life. That's literally what submission is. Yes, men are operating in 3D, you guys. I don't know what that was, just came from under my house. You know, It's every time I get out here and I get to speaking on certain things, the weird things begin. But anyways, these men are operating on 3D. They're not growing, they're not evolving, they're just stuck in lower conscious energy, fear and scarcity and um, hatred and racism and bigotry and monogamy and sexism. Sex is not one of the hierarchies of needs of Maslow's law. So sex is not a need. We don't have to have sex to live in society. Sex is something that is a part of procreation and um, literally the circle of life. It's a natural process. It's not something that is needed to keep society going. In every textbook of context, I mean, you can look at the circle of life with a tadpole to a frog, and then how that circle of life plays a part. It's the same thing with human species. We are meant to be here. We're here to learn our lesson, and once we learn our lesson, we die. And you believe in reincarnation and all that stuff, then that's what happens. I mean, we have 8 billion people on the planet. We don't need any more people here. Um, I mean, God, I mean, look at the state of the world right now. It's in shit. It's in shambles. Why do we want to continuously keep bringing children here, and we can't even take care of the ones who are already here? I mean, can we talk about the children who are going missing, and him and stuff that's happening to the children, and why are we not protecting the children, and why are there pedos after the children, and other things that are going on? You guys, this gets very deep. These powerful people know what's coming to America, and they have prepared themselves for it, because um, we're getting ready to go into a pivotal point in time where I believe evolution and Darwinism and natural selection is going to take play with the removal of most of society. I can't get off into the context of this, but just know that when you don't evolve and you don't grow and you don't adapt to the changes of the planet, well, you die. And I just want to throw this out here. When New Year's happened, which New Year's is really in the spring solstice, because I go by the moon phases and stuff, you know, I really felt that transition going into 2026. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It was a very, very hard shift going into 2026. And a lot of people who can't handle the vibration of this planet, they're going to lose their minds, because they're not going to know how to adapt to the changes that we're getting ready to go into when it comes to energy wise and consciousness wise. Like, we're getting ready to enter into a phase of the rise of the feminine energy and dark femininity. And you guys, it's all a part of the beginning of time, before existence even came to play. Women were here first. We were the first human beings here, first species here. We walked around with the dinosaurs and everything, and men therefore came thereafter. So the whole story of Adam and Eve was twisted around according to the creation of the patriarchal system. Um, Really, Christianity is Islam. It's its first teachings. You guys, this I would have to be all night on here to break this down, and right now I don't have the energy for it. I had an intense therapy session, because you guys know that I told you guys I was unprogramming from this whole entire system and reprogramming my mind, and really, breaking down a lot of the trauma under this system that I endured and subjugated from. So I'm currently in a healing phase right now, and when I tell you today, it was very painful. It was very painful to have to bring up repressed emotions and feelings that I have been harboring. Um, I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch the first video that I uploaded this morning, where I shared the content creator that I follow. You guys need to go follow her, where she talked about how chronic stress can cause inflammation in the body that can then cause other health problems. You guys need to go get the book. I have the book. If you want a copy of the book, I can email it to you. It is by Gabor Matet. It literally talks about health illnesses, conditioning and conditions, chronic stress and what it does to the body, and how when this inflammation sits in the body, it literally causes the diseases that you guys are dealing with. I am convinced and believe that a lot of my um, health elements and autoimmune disorders are a result of chronic stress and fatigue. Um, Graves' disease, thyroid issues. It's all from toxicity. It's all from the toxic masculinity. It's trauma based. It's CPTSD based. So if you guys want this book, and I mean, if you're not willing to do the inner work and inner healing, then yeah, you do need to see a professional. But when the trauma is really, really deep, you definitely have to, you definitely do have to, do some inner work and inner healing. And I'm talking about inner child healing. I'm talking about grounding, meditation, working with crystals. Like I'm doing the whole shebang here. And it's pretty intense when you're working with each one of those chakras. Like each chakra point has to be healed. That energy has to come out of each chakra point. And I can tell you it's not a good feeling. When stress sits in the body, it can cause brain fog, fatigue, insomnia, anxiety, CPTSD, diabetes, heart inflammation. This is you guys dealing with these toxic ass men. The sentiment literally saves your life. I'm telling you. I am in a self-preservation cycle, and let me tell you this: when you remove the toxicity out of your aura and everything, like I do aura cleansings, I do parasitic cleansing, I do detoxes. When you remove that out of your aura and out of your energy space, and you begin to work with yourself within, you begin to glow up. And this is the glow up effect that a lot of women have when they like stop dealing with men who are toxic and they divorce them. So I'm just letting you guys know how important it's gonna be to actually do the inner work and inner healing. And not a lot of people want to do the inner work and inner healing. For me, I just have to release a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, because your body holds on to those repressed emotions and they have nowhere to go. And most therapists will tell you to get in CBT, MEDR, which is another form of therapy that works with the senses. You guys, even motivational interviewing, that's now you guys understand why I do what I do. Um, yeah, I've been called into it, but not only that, I'm very understanding of the holistic aspects of trauma, and that kind of stuff just doesn't go away. That's what I'm saying. 4B women, you're on this journey, baby, and it's not going to be easy because you got to unprogram from all of it. I've been on this journey. Unfortunately, when you continue to live in a system like this, and you continuously keep surrounding yourself around patriarchal ideologies, you're sucked into the system, right? Because you're always going to come across male-centered women. You're going to come across pick-me's. You're going to come around, toxic people. You have to just keep purging this stuff out. And right now, my body needs to release all of it. It is not something that I would advise you to do alone. You're going to have to work with a professional to do this properly and to do this correctly. Because if not, the stress can literally kill you. And another thing, stress and trauma can get into your chakras and it can cause blockages. So when I tell you guys that I have meditation to do, this isn't 30 or 40-minute meditations, you guys. This isn't 5, 10, 15, 20. No, no, no. I'm in meditation for hours. I'm in meditation for hours, you guys. I'm talking about hours, lasting anywhere from 2 to 3, 4 hours of meditation I'm in. And depending on how deep the trauma goes, it depends on how far you're willing to go with the process. I am familiar with Recca healing, which is another intense for more intense trauma. Typically, when your body has gone through so much trauma, you can actually attract your twin flame for healing. That shit gets really deep. So I'm probably due for another twin flame connection, but I'm not looking for it. Anyways, back to regular topic. I'm just letting you guys know that the healing that is needed is very, very intense. It's very deep. Um and it's just gonna be important that you guys understand what we're dealing with here. You guys are gonna have to understand that these men, they're just inflicting violence. They're inflicting violence because they're trying to destroy as many women as they can. You guys are gonna have to protect your energy. You're gonna have to protect everything. That's literally their job, is to dominate, control, humble, and impose violence on women with oppression and subjugation. So decentrament is the only way to heal from all of this. Meditation is my best friend. Working with those affirmations and doing the inner work and inner healing, to really go with it. It's gonna be important, you guys, to understand what we're dealing with here. That if these men are not hurting you with physical violence, they're hurting you with misnomer and sexism and misnogamy and chauvinism and just quite a bit of things that is harmful to you as the divine feminine. I like I told you guys, if you want the book, I can send it to you through Zoho Mail, which I use that for larger attachments like books and stuff like that. I've been actually getting into my books. I've been actually, like getting into my books. Uh, the inflammation is ultimately what's sitting in your body, and if you don't release that energy, it's causing the sickness in your body. Um, there is a meditation like for my thyroid that I can do for healing. It's in remission, you guys, because of decentered men. And I had to minimize the stress. And I had to change my whole entire diet. When your body is under stress, it can actually go into malabsorption, which is the ability to absorb foods into the body and nutrients. I literally just did a paper on this. This is what stress does. You guys should see the paper that I just wrote for my nutrition one-on-one class. It literally prevents your body from actually absorbing the nutrients and minerals in your body. This is what stress can do. It becomes like a barrier. Stress causes cancer. Stress changes the RNA and DNA of your molecular cells. This is why when women who are under stress in marriages and relationships, it looks like you've aged back, because you're actually changing the DNA and RNA of your molecular types, dealing with chronic stress and chronic fatigue of men, being in a toxic environment. What am I saying? These men have become a weapon against us. And we cannot thrive and survive in a system that keeps oppressing and subjugating us. That's what I'm saying. Ladies, you can't function and be your authentic self with men. They're blocking you from evolution and evolving. So when you decenter them, they can't control you because they don't have a host. And what they're doing now is they're projecting on the divine feminine because they're losing access and control and the power sense. It's really a power play. So as you continuously keep decentering men, you begin to tap into your higher self, and you begin to evolve and grow and heal. But as long as you're dealing with men, you're never ever going to be who you are truly meant to be. This is why no man can tell me who I am. I am who I am, and that would be Goddesses Akina Zahara. That is my spiritual name. How did I come up with that name, you may ask? Well, I would have to unalive you to tell you that. That name came to me spiritually. It's a combination of my life path number and a whole bunch of other numbers that I'm not going to get off into. But that is my spiritual name. I have considered making that my official birth name, but I don't want to fool with that. But yeah, that is my name, first and last name. It's very mystical, I know. It's giving witchy, herby vibes. I know a lot of people say that. But yeah, that is my name, you guys. Goddesses Akina Zahara. And when I tell people that, and you're never going to find anybody with that name either. I'm the only person with this name. So, I wanted the universe to give me my name. I wanted the universe to give it to me, and they gave it to me. So, that's my name. And you notice all of the conscious women, we use the name goddesses at the beginning of our names because we know who we are. You men cannot tell us who we are. You can't tell us who we are. You can't tell me anything about myself that I don't know about myself. I know thyself because I've been on this journey a very long time. But like I said, you guys are gonna have to decenter men. You're gonna have to decenter men because somebody like myself who's very high vibrational, let's just say if I were to get in, bed with one of these men, then it could be very dangerous. There are women out here who can transmute that dark feminine energy into sexual energy healing. Oh, I wasn't supposed to reveal that secret. And this is why women like me can see the longer you become celibate, ladies, the more powerful, baby, your energy becomes. And there are women out here who can heal these men, but these men have to do the work. They have to do the work. They have to do the healing. Because sleeping with a low vibrational man can absolutely make him go nuts. Who is this pulling up in my yard? This is why we can't deal with certain types of men out here, because we know what kind of energy and power we're bringing to the table. And that's not for every man to have access to. Um, yeah, one of these days I'll have to tell you guys how I came up with the name. It is a combination of my life path number, soul number, spiritual numbers. It's a combination of quite a bit of numbers. And it's become so familiar to myself that when people ask me, what's your name? And I tell them my name, I often will say, just call me Akina. I don't even use my legal name anymore, you guys. Nope. So now you guys understand the symbolic meaning of Akina's Garden Healing. Yeah, it gets really deep with me, you guys. Um, I'm good with out in the woods in a little cabin out in nature. Akina is resemblance of garden botanicals, things like that. So uh, all of these things go hand in hand with who I am and my calling in the herbalist holistic field. And nature literally is going to heal you, women. It's literally going to heal you. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to get off of here because I got to fix my son's supper. I got to eat. But I just wanted to get on here to talk about this. Because I don't think you guys understand the severity of what we're dealing with here. And the fact that, we're in danger with men under the system. And this is about the survival of the fittest when it comes to what men should be allowed to have access to women. And I'm telling you guys, as someone who's looking at this on a spiritual level, there's absolutely too many men here, and the planet needs to purge and reset herself. Mother Gaia needs a break from humanity, truthfully. Um, a lot of this is going to go over you guys' head because you don't understand the in-depths of this. Um, it is a combination of biblical and spiritual concepts, but it's really deep, you guys. Humanity is in trouble, and she needs to reset. She needs a reset. It's too, the energy on the planet is too chaotic. And when it's like this is when you start seeing the crazy weather abnormalities, and you see the tornadoes and the volcanoes and the hurricanes and the earthquakes, because Mother Gaia is tired of us here. And then of course on a biblical level, it's you guys, we're in the age of Aquarius, and Pluto is getting ready to go in Uranus, and I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be good here, man. When all of those planets align up together, which I believe is happening, this is when you start seeing apocalyptic events happening on the planet. And that's what's happening right now, because those planets are starting to align with each other, and it's bringing in that cosmic gravity. You guys, we're fucked here. Just got to be truthful with you guys. We're fucked here. If we don't get a handle of what the hell's going on here, you women don't fix this problem, Mother Nature's gonna fix it. You never heard of Father Nature. Father time, it's Mother time. And right now, we're literally on divine timing with what's happening right now. You guys need to decenter men, and we need to figure out a way to get things back balanced and harmony. How you do that? We have to stop having so many men here. There's not enough men for women. Darwinism is going to take out a lot of these men who are not consciously evolving and haven't done the work on themselves. These are the ones who I believe they're acting out in violence and rage because they cannot handle the shifts that are happening right now. Versus the men who have done the work in healing, it's not affecting them. But the men who haven't done it, it's affecting them. The women who haven't done the work, it's affecting them. I would advise you, ladies, to, well, this is strange. I just see something spiritually. I'm not going to be out here much longer. I don't know, the cat's fighting. Yeah, I'm getting the impression the Watcher's energy. Anyways, yeah. What was I getting ready to say? You ladies need to fast. You need to detox. You need to operate in self-love. You need to get any kind of hatred, racism, bigotry. You need to get it all out of the heart chakra. You need to work and balance those chakras. You need to stay emotionally balanced, work on your affirmations and positive thinking. What you put out in the universe is what you're going to get. I'm just letting you know. And how you're going to know you're not operating in a good place is when you don't feel balanced. When you don't feel balanced, nothing's going to align for you. Meditation, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at lunch, 30 minutes at bedtime. Affirmations, 10 times a day, one affirmation. You know, write these things down, recite them. I mean, my meditations are quite long. You know, it's, and I'm probably, when I get off of here, I'm going to go do Reka healing for about 3 or 4 hours. And when I do that, I just go into a deep sleep, and it's needed. I do need to do a detox bath, and that can last for 7 days for at least an hour. Detox bath. Because that energy is just so heavy and draining on my energy, and it just weighs the energy down. So I'm kind of like cord cutting, I'm releasing, I'm detoxing, parasitic cleanse, etc., etc. You guys, it's deep. Like my whole entire diet blend has to change, which it has changed. These men are not going to do this level of work. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it, you guys. I am due for my twin flame. This will be the last incarnation that I'm going to deal with. I don't like dealing with twin flames. I don't like dealing with twin flames because the energy is, number one, it's so intense. And they normally pop up when you have so much shit going on. I really, really don't need this energy right now. I don't need to be bothered with this. I have met, oh my God, so many soulmates. So many. Twin flames. We literally only have, we have multiple twin flames. This one here is the one, the it, from what I'm being told spiritually in my spiritual circle. I really don't want to deal with that right now. And they normally, oh man, they normally pop up just out of nowhere, and it's just like, who asked you to come? And then they're just there when you got so much shit going on. And it's very, 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 very hard to get rid of twin flames. It's so hard to get them out of your energy once they connect with you. And they mirror everything that's going on with you. Everything. So I'm doing what I can to like fix a whole lot of shit before they appear. And I just got a strange feeling that they, like I said, they normally come when you got so much shit going on. And I can sense that this person is on the way, and I really don't need to. I don't need to deal with this right now. I don't need to deal with it. Anyways, I'm gonna get off of here. Fix my son's supper. I need to eat. I need to go into meditation. I need to fast. I am probably not gonna be on here tomorrow. Probably in more meditation the rest of this week, the weekend, and then it's back to class. It's back to class tomorrow. Um, I have to go back in class tomorrow and Friday. Um, just to kind of review the next following week and what I have to do for class. But anyways, I'm gonna get off of here. You guys have a good night. I know that this is in-depth stuff. It's very deep and it's conflicted and confusing. Go look up the Age of Aquarius and all this stuff that I'm talking about, and it'll all make sense.